Now every year I end up cleaning 3 chimneys. One's a brick chimney, and there's a couple chimneys up the cabins we got to clean. And I'm going to clean this one first. I'm going to put a little cap on top of it. These are my brushes. That's self-explanatory. Everybody knows how to put them together. And right here is a bar. This is a bar. Sometimes it's so blocked I have to drop the bar down and keep going. That's why I'm a guy who likes to, when I build a chimney, seal around the flue. I'm going to explain that later on in the video. But this is just a general cleaning tips that I use all the time. I know everybody does it different, but here we go. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We're going to open the clean out door. Kind of look at it. And it looks like it even goes down deeper than it does. Everybody builds chimneys different. But we're going to take the camera right there. I'm going to look up the chimney. And it don't look bad. I see some cobwebs up there. Okay, we're going to go take the brushes. Go right down. Now we looked at the very bottom, and the brushes on the came all the way to the clean out door, so we know we're clean. We know we're good. So now we're just going to put the cap on. I got it kind of preset. Just fits right over there. And we just tighten the screws up. Sometimes you can't do it. The flue is worn out, but I would cut it then. I just cut the fluid, leave a little extra and put it on. Or cut this out and put another piece of flue on to make these little things work. And that's it. Chimney's all done. We're going to go up there and we're going to clean that chimney. So this is the chimney hole. You see it in there like that? Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get up there. He's going to hold the light right inside here. And then I'm going to see if I can see down there. Now we're going to take this cap off the chimney. Alright, we're going to go right down the chimney. Look right down the chimney. You see that light down there? You see the light moving down in the chimney? I don't see anything in there that's obstructing it. That's one way to check your chimney. I'm going to talk a little bit about building chimneys. This is a chimney block. Usually we put 1, 2, 3 block in and we get our big flue, which would be over 2 feet, and we drop it in like that. And then our next flue would go right on top of that, just like that. Now when you're buttering the block, the cement is actually going to go against the flue. We're going to look right down in there. You see that flue? If you look right down there, you're going to see these flues don't always line up. You're always going to get a little edge. Sometimes the mason's lazy. Sometimes it gets tilted. You know, masonry isn't black and white. So there's always going to be that issue about the flue going in. Now when they're doing brickwork, they lay their brick right around the flue like this. They already have the flue in when they're doing brickwork. Just like that. So you know automatically all that cement's got to go against the flue. And what happens is when you get a real hot fire, when this is filled with creosote and it starts burning, you get a chimney fire, you're going to get a crack in the chimney because it's up against the flue. Some people say, oh, you're not supposed to put cement against the flue. It's impossible. You have to do it. I've seen cases where they didn't put cement against the flue. The whole flue shatters and it falls down and blocks the chimney that way. So cement in a way holds it together. So you got 2 choices. If you don't keep your chimney clean and you get a chimney fire, you're going to get a big crack down the chimney, and this is what it looks like. Here's a crack in the chimney right here. This crack in this chimney, they try to patch it up, was from a chimney fire. So if your chimney is too hot, it's going to be like a roaring train. You're going to hear it, and it's going to crack the masonry. So you got to be very careful to keep your chimney clean all the time. Okay, now we got a brush. We're just going to take this brush and brush it. So now we cleaned it with the brushes. And we're looking at it all the way down. You can see that cement on there. And you can't do nothing about it. That's how you basically clean a chimney. So there we are, that's the chimney hole, and right down here is the clean out door. So when you look in the clean out door, we already cleaned it out, but it's all pretty much clean in there. You oiled this because you doesn't want it rusting. But if you have a clean out door, make sure it's closed and sealed up good, because that's going to affect your fire. And here's a bucket full of the soot that we got out of that chimney. Okay, this is a chimney up at the cabin, and we're going to clean that. We're up on top of the chimney, and we got these little wing nuts. We're going to take this off. This is all, we kind of thought this all out. Alright, we're looking down the chimney, and we could see the light down there. So this was a big flue, 12-inch flue, and this is a metal liner that's insulated. Then we filled all around that metal liner because that chimney was cold and it was gathering heat. But with the metal liner, it doesn't do that. It burns hot and it keeps the chimney cleaner. So that's why we did that. Now right here's a clean out door to the bottom of the cabin, and right here we have a mirror. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick that mirror in there and look straight up. You see the sun up there? It's another way to check your chimney. Now this is a tip for all you hunters out there. We're not going to use any nationalities or anything, but this is a mirror. And you give it to a young guy who never hunted before, and he takes it in the woods. And we'll call it the ignorance compass. So it doesn't show you north or south or anything. It just kind of shows you who's lost. Okay, we're cleaning the chimney. There's nothing in there. There we are, we got the drum going. One thing you got about chimneys is they're usually cold when you first light them up. Sometimes you get a downdraft. That's why all the smoke is coming into the building. Once you light your fire with paper, it heats the chimney up and the draft goes up. So that's just a little tip. Now this is the kind of stuff that they put down a chimney that's already built.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Now this is a new school type of chimney. This is just the sample right here. But it's a lot safer a lot of times than the old standard chimneys. That's the insert right there. Now this thing right here is a modern day power vent. That's what they're using to replace chimneys. So if you're going to get a new gas furnace, better talk to your plumber about putting one of them in. Because the days of the old chimneys are coming to an end.